Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Okay, let's take a look at what's happening in April. Hey, Aquarius, let's start with Ceres, which is retrograde right now. Here she is, retrograde in Virgo, landing in your 8th house. Now, Ceres is involved in a financial rebalancing period because she's retrograde from early February to early May. And this began in Libra, but she's retrograded. In other words, she's traveled backwards into Virgo, which places her in your 8th house. So for you, this financial rebalancing period is going to focus very much on the monies that you've invested or the monies that you share with a person or an institution. And that person might be a spouse, it might be a business partner, or it might be, your investment portfolio, or it might even have to do with your debt, your mortgage, your car loan, your credit card debt, anything like that. And what Ceres really wants you to do is to get into the details and just really clean up how you record where you are with your debt, get really conscious of where you are with it, and get really conscious of what you and your partner are doing with the monies that you share. And so if you've kind of had your attention off of what your money is doing and what it's doing for you in these relationships that you have, this might be the transit to kind of bring it up in your face. Ceres is, as I said, going to be retrograde until early May. And so there's plenty of time to, sort everything out, even if it gets really tangled during this period. So Juno is traveling along through Taurus. Here she is in your 4th house. Juno is a very social planet. She's an asteroid in the asteroid belt, and she's all about collaboration and partnership. And she brings that wherever she goes. This is your 4th house, which is the domain of home and family, domestic life, heritage, and roots. And so she brings this very partnerly quality to that area. So if you are married with children and this transit is happening, it's likely to bring up some really helpful and even solidifying conversations with your spouse about how the householding is going, how the raising of the kids is going, and it might even bring social life into your home. This could be a really good transit for bringing community into your home, especially because Uranus is there too. And then the next thing that's going to happen is that at the end of the month, really at the beginning of next month, Juno is going to leave Taurus and move into Gemini right about here on May 1st. And I'll talk about that next month. But for this month, enjoy Juno's travel through the 4th house because it's going to make your domestic life a lot nicer. Hey, Julia, what's up with Mercury, Venus, and Mars for the Aquarians of the world?
Oh, good question, Jamie. Hey there, Aquarius. Well, let's begin with Mercury. Mercury's going to have a retrograde cycle later this month, so I definitely want you to hear about him first. So Mercury begins the first couple of days in your 3rd house. This is Mercury's natural house because it rules communication, and Mercury is the planet of communication. So the first couple of days of the month, you might be writing a lot more, learning a lot more, and just kind of communicating a lot more with those around you. Then Then by April 3rd, Mercury goes into your 4th house. This is the house that rules your past, you know, the stuff that happened to you many years ago. And since Mercury is our mind, you might be really thinking a lot about your past during this transit. Maybe you're just kind of preoccupied with what happened many, many years ago and how it might be affecting you now. This house also represents family and home. So by the 21st, when Mercury goes retrograde, this is going to be a time of reviewing, rethinking, even taking back some things you may have said in all of these areas of life. So for example, maybe you're thinking about your housing situation. Maybe you were sure you were going to move, but now you're not so sure. Or maybe you were having miscommunications with your family members, and now you have to kind of go back over something you've said, take something you said back. So be prepared to sort of smooth out those rough edges. And then on a lighter note, Venus, the planet that rules your relationship, she's also a pleasurable planet. She starts out in your 4th house this month and is there for the first 10 days. This brings a little pleasure, a little harmony, even a little beauty into your home. So if you want to socialize at the beginning of the month, you'll probably invite your friends over. If you've got a partner, then you guys just want to hang out indoors and not necessarily go out and spend a lot of money, but maybe cook at home. Then by April 10th, when Venus goes into your 5th house, this is totally awesome because Venus loves this house. It's the house of dating. So a really good time for single Aquarians for the rest of the month to get out there, meet somebody new. If you're in a relationship, you guys will get off the couch and maybe go out to have some fun, go to a club, go to a bar. I guess festival season might be starting up around this time too. So maybe there are things you could do out for fun. And it's a lovely transit if you have children. Maybe you're not into the bar scene anymore, which is fine, and you've got some kids at home, then this is going to be a great time for getting along really well with them. And then finally, I do have to mention Mars. He's a little bit more troublesome than the other planets. He's known as a malefic, which means that they're usually a little bit trickier to deal with, but there can always be a constructive side to a malefic too. And I'll tell you both. So Mars is going to be in your 6th house all month. This is your health, this is your workplace, and it's your habits. So this can bring up some flare-ups, some tension at work, you know, maybe not seeing eye to eye with the people you work with. This is also, since it's a house of health, some other stuff might come up with your health. You know, if you have any blood issues like anemia, if you have any inflammatory issues like psoriasis, or even headaches, which can be a Mars thing. You know, those kind of chronic things might act up a little bit around then, infections, urinary tract infections, things like that. However, Mars in the 6th gives you the drive to put some good habits in place. So whatever does come up in your life, whether it's problems at work, whether it's little annoying health issues, you've got a lot more drive to put in better routines. And these routines might help you more at work, and they actually might help support your health a lot better too. So definitely keep that in mind for this transit.
So true. Hi, Jamie here. Before we continue, I just want to take a quick moment to thank you for watching this video. And if you're enjoying this content, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Our lowest tier starts at just $5 a month and gives you early access to these monthly horoscope readings. Your support helps keep this content free. The link can be found in the description box below. Thanks again, and let's get back to the video. Well, we have got some moons to take a look at, starting on April 5th with a full moon in Libra, landing right here in your 9th house of philosophy and higher thought, of learning and traveling and expanding as a person. This is the house of the seeker. And so this moon is really on a journey and a search for meaning, which, of course, being the moon, she does emotionally through intuition and how she feels. Now, this particular moon, we're calling it Make Every Action Wholesome. And we're doing that because this moon is facing off against several planets over here in Aries, which are much more sort of like vigorous and spontaneous and enthusiastic, but, you know, maybe also a little bit sort of clueless. And so this moon is trying to balance all of the activity and the hubbub of those Aries planets with something, more rational and more thoughtful and considerate of others. So I think that this moon is going to be very focused on how your actions can be a reflection of your ethics and your morals under this moon. So that's happening on April 5th. And then the second moon of the month is a little bit more exciting because it's an eclipse. And that happens on the 19th. And here you can see the moon is joining the sun right here in the third house. And this eclipse happens at 29 degrees of Aries. And there's really a lot to this eclipse, a lot of meaning in this eclipse and lots of stress too. We're calling it volcanic actions tempered by sympathy. That's because there is help from Saturn most particularly. But this moon is, this particular eclipse type of moon is just very, very active, very spontaneous, very forceful, very willful, very driven. And I think we're going to have to watch our behavior. And in your case, because it lands in your third house of communication and ideas, you might feel very, very you might feel driven to, to express your ideas and even to push your ideas on others. So this could be a very opinionated moon for you, where you might be putting your opinions out there so forcefully that you just don't even recognize how forceful you're coming off. And doing that under an eclipse can lead to some rough experiences. You might want to check our website, pandoraastrology.com. The monthly forecast page has the videos for both of these moons that can explain further what they're about, how they'll feel, and how to handle them. In your case, the watchword is watch your communication and notice how it's landing with the other guy. So then we have the seasonal change, and that happens on the 20th. The sun shifts on out of Aries and moves into Taurus. And this is really reflective of the way that this month began. And I'll just illustrate this. This month began with more placements in Aries. And over the course of the month, many of those things move on into Taurus. So there's this general shift over the course of the month from your third house into your fourth house. The third house emphasizing communication and learning and ideas at the beginning of the month. And then in the later part of the month, that energy shifts over into the realm of home and family and domestic life and heritage and roots. And that gets to be where the focus is. And the sun in particular is all about attention. Attention is like sunlight. Wherever you place your attention, things can thrive and flourish, especially if the attention that you put on it is positive attention. So the sun moves into your fourth house on April 20th. It'll be there for about 30 days. And while it's there, put some nourishing sunlight attention into your home, maybe physically in terms of, fixing or remodeling. And it's just 30 days. So, there's only so big a project could be, right? Or maybe on the people that you live with, family members, children, your spouse, elders, whoever needs the attention, that's where you should put it while the sun is traveling through the fourth house. And then wonderful things can happen.
If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
We make these horoscopes for you for free. And if you appreciate it, supporting us on Patreon is the best way to show it. Share our horoscopes with your friends too. Have a beautiful April. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.